Thanks for talking to Singapore, Ben.
Thank you. I love Singapore.
Good. Have you been?
I haven't been, but I love what I've read about it.
Okay, well, then you better come and visit.
I can't wait to come.
Well, maybe a future Batman movie might be shot there. We never know,
Yeah,
right?
I could film in Singapore, right?
I'll have that.
Does movies film in Singapore?
Yes, we do.
Would they let me come film in Singapore?
I think they do. So
I don't know. We'll see. Do they do tax rebates? They do, because
We're the
that's
Switzerland of the East, I think.
Oh, really? Because usually you get movies if you do tax rebates.
Yeah,
so
there
I
you
don't
go.
know. Yeah.
There, I'll put in a good word for
you connect me with the.
Exactly. So tell me, what about, I mean, he's Batman, Bruce. He's a haunted hero. He's a dark man. What are some of his characteristics that really drew you to take this role on when Zach first pitched the movie to you?
I think that it was out of the ordinary that while he was a hero, he had a lot of flaws, and he was asking questions that protagonists don't often ask of themselves, like, am I doing the right thing, and is this worthwhile, and and that he was up against the protagonist, or the fact there were two protagonists and you weren't sure who to side with. I thought that was really interesting structure. They both think they're right.
Exactly.
And neither one is obviously right, and so the audience gets a chance to wonder, well, I see where he's coming from, but I see where he's coming from too. I like the idea that he was just a mortal in a world where all of a sudden super beings are popping up, and what does that mean for Batman? What we've seen with the Nolan Batman is amazing films, but he's never had to deal with a world where there are super beings, and so that's a new wrinkle, and I thought it was an exciting evolution in this series.
Yeah, like he's kind of the ultimate anti-superhero, right?
Right.
What part of that really resonated with you on a personal front? Like emotionally, did you feel connected to?
I feel like I connect to the sort of cynicism in him, and the sense that he has that the world is all, that the powers that be are sort of lying to us in some way, like
the conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not quite a conspiracy theorist, but I do connect with the idea that this idea that make up your own mind rather than sort of go with the flow, and I just thought it was it's just a great character. He does his own thing, and he's his own man, and he believes in doing sort of what needs to doing what you need to do to get done what needs to get done, rather than necessarily playing by all the rules. And that's a classic debate, and it never gets old.
And then the whole moral grayness of it all. Was it hard to keep the director's hat off? I mean, because ever since you've turned behind the camera and done awesome work, was it hard to sort of keep the director's hat off while filming, knowing that there is going to be a potential standalone Batman film in the works?
It's so easy to keep the director's hat off. The director's hat is heavy. The director's hat has to take care of all the problems, and the actor's hat gets to go back to his trailer and take a nap while they solve all the problems. So it's like, especially if you trust the director and trust the writer. We had a great writer in Chris Terrio who wrote a script that I really believed in, and Zach's most incredibly talented graphic director that I've ever worked with. I mean, he sees images in such a smart way and such an intuitive way that I really believed in both of those aspects of our movie, and so it was really easy to go like, okay, I did my part, now I'm going to check out, and you guys take care of the rest.
Yeah. What advice did you get from, say, did you even talk to like Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale?
I talked to a couple of those guys. Okay. I didn't, pander for advice. I wasn't like, how do I say this line? You know what I mean? What's the real bat face?
Yeah. What's the real bat face? That's a good question.
What do you do when you get under the mask?
How do you go to the toilet?
They were all very gracious and very kind and very cool about it, and that in and of itself is nice, because I would have felt really awkward if they were kind of like, oh, you can't do this.
Who gave you the best advice? And
well, Christian Bale told me to make sure I get a zipper on the suit, so that was probably the best practical advice.
That's how you go to the toilet.
There you go.
All right, thank you so much,
Thanks
Ben.
a lot.